round up some of the old guys.
There are no old guys. Moses, ironically, he found Jesus. All those Irish crazies, they mostly just disappeared. That crew from the south, they all went down. There was an Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City, but he went quiet.
As many know, Lester was referring to the one and only Niko Bellic. The fact alone Lester thought about him 5 years after what we saw him go through and knew him to have made moves showed us how popular Niko became in the criminal underworld, becoming a if you know type of guy. But the fact he understood he went quiet is still the reason why that matters in the first place. So starting it off, as many know, what Niko became was never his intention. That was just what was there. From fighting another man's war somewhere in Europe to running around in LC. Saying that to say, before Kate, his interaction with Darko, it's good to keep in mind when Niko spent months on that platypus boat, this was his first attempt to go quiet in the first place.
After I got into trouble, I thought maybe,
Then I got this gig and I spent the next 7 months with you fine people and I forget. After the war finished, I couldn't get a job. Nobody could. So I did some dumb things, got involved with some idiots.
He realized he was going down the wrong path. So with Roman lying about how he lived in America, that was the play in attempts for a new start. Roman later would ask, why now did he decide to leave Europe?
Why you leave home after all this time? First I hear you running with the wrong kind. Then I hear you join the merchant navy. Now you're here. You never tell me anything.
But again, it was to go quiet. He even tried to explain it, as many know. But even he knew how he moved wasn't an excuse to how he lived.
Ships were fine.
it was before that. 2 things.
You remember, during the war, we did some bad things. And bad things happened to us. War is where the young and stupid are tricked by the old and bitter into killing each other. I was very young and very angry. Maybe that is no excuse.
But even with being told a lie, going quiet still was trying to be attempted. It wasn't till down the line, his own promises to himself, though, started to be broken. Not that long after being in Hove Beach, he was forced to be what he wasn't trying to be anymore.
Stop this!
What? Yes!
You forgot this, you Benin pricks!
Strong!
Niko banging that machine showed his frustration doing what again he wasn't trying to do, but of course feeling like he had to. That same guy, army broke, as many know, he ended up killing him.
I told you to stop! Now it's too late.
But even then, again, that was a promise to himself that of course was broken, showing him really trying not to do the things that would make him be not quiet.
I promised myself I wouldn't kill people here.
With this though, he explained more reason of trying to go quiet, that being because of Bogren. But another thing that got in the way of being off the grid was his own pride.
What if I say I don't want to be your hitman?
By the time he killed Vlad was the thing that started to get him on the radar within the underworld. Even with that though, during this, what also continued to show he never wanted what things were. Trying to avoid his role he started to play.
Can't keep his finger off of the triggers. Wasn't always like this though. Things got to him.
I hope it don't get to me. I never thought I'd live like this.
No?
When the war came, I did bad things. And after the war, I thought nothing of doing bad things. I killed people, smuggled people, sold people.
God is very complicated. You mustn't give up hope.
Well, I don't know about that.
And in the midst of all that, things forced him to be the opposite of quiet. Things he wasn't much proud of, let alone catching back up with him too.
You are Niko Bellic, correct?
What is this?
And you used to work the coast in the Mediterranean, smuggling people into Italy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But you messed up.
And outside of that, money was still needed.
We need some money real bad.
But by the time Niko was ran out of Hove Beach, again, with hopes of being under the radar while still making money and fulfilling his revenge, Bohan was the second attempt for the same thing.
Here we are, the beginning of our new lives. Again.
But of course, he became caught up with telling things. Niko again wanted to be a shadow at this point, on top of now having to survive. So instantly being in front of a camera will also start and be the thing that of course got in the way of being quiet. Of course, having a telling reaction.
Turn that off.
Manny!
Sorry.
And of course, the things from Hove Beach was even starting to be known, having to still be forced to not be quiet.
I know about you.
Know what?
I know enough, boy.
Oh, what do you know, boy?
I know you killed Mikhail Faustin. I know a group of Russians want you dead. I know you ain't no saint, boy.
I don't know what you're talking about, Chief.
You think this is a town that can keep a secret?
I really don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. You know that a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. That people ain't perfect, that life is a mess.
Sure, everybody knows that.
At this point, all the people in LC just saw Niko as a hitman, but didn't see a guy getting pulled in as far as making the idea of walking away blurry. He still even was seen at this point to have no choice when it came down to what he was around, which was a score he got into that probably contributed into making him known 5 years after the fact.
So you in, big guy? We're gonna have to kill you.
Well, since you put it that way, I mean...
Right.
Good.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
And something else to add was the fact Niko was underpaid for his hits and everything in between, something we'll see. And as many know, he also got involved with the drug trade that of course exposed him even more, starting to again make a reputation for himself, even if he wanted it or not.
Hey, you know, you could have gone down too if you weren't so useful.
You fucking bitch.
Well, my employers need the help of a guy like Niko.
And also keep in mind, Niko being caught up in feuds with brothers, mentors, even being put in positions to where things weren't even a choice. But as many know, Bohan wouldn't help him hide either, giving him more reasons to go quiet in the process. At this point though, again, pride and his own yearn for revenge being involved if the people he worked for wasn't enough.
Man, we just need to disappear as far as they're concerned. Disappear! Okay. But I want Florian and Darko. I need to know what happened. Give me that. Fine. But leave the Russians alone!
And with now his dealings with the IAA, staying quiet actually started to be encouraged for him, although it was just to use him.
You're late, and please calm down out there.
Excuse me?
I didn't give you a free pass to act like an asshole. You're bringing a lot of heat. Hang out with bad people, doing bad things, making idiot moves.
I'm an idiot. I move.
True, but the last thing I need is you getting caught.
But again, Niko had this for himself, especially with being unable to be quiet. Things simply became too hectic to get out from, and it wouldn't help down the line getting involved with the mob. But at this point, he mentally was at a point of simply being over things himself, from the pay to the gig, especially with the things that preoccupied his mind.
I keep doing these favors for you, and you pay shit! So either you give me your word or go fuck yourself! I'm sick of this shit!
And later, you can even hear how the people that pay Niko even feel about him, simply being cheap.
Yeah, that Niko guy, he's, in a better place.
Nicky? Fuck, Nicky. I didn't like the guy, but hell, they don't normally come that cheap.
Keep in mind, this was how he even became the guy to call, or again, known 5 years later on the other side of the map. But of course, it was things that made going quiet murky.
Listen, man, I'm worried about you. You have to sort your life out before it ends.
What does that mean?
It means what it says. You can't carry on like this. Fighting a war that ended. Killing, running around like a lunatic. All this craziness. It can't go on, not forever.
Yes, it can.
You'll die.
No, I will go on forever. This is my curse. I can do this, live this life. I cannot live another.
Not now.
Things like this at this point made Niko feel it wasn't a way out for him. Of course, at this particular moment, not meaning moving forward though. And he would even down the line mention things at this point, eating them up, still with the idea being, of course, going quiet.
Roman, good to speak to you. I needed to talk to a friend.
Why? What's wrong?
I think it's my conscience. I don't know.
Your conscience? Have you killed too many people, Niko?
Perhaps.
But it was still something that kept him in, even with having the hope to do so.
Why don't you want to live? To live a normal life, I mean. Get married, have kids, not steal, rob, kill.
I don't know. I have lived a complicated life. I was in a war.
Sounds like you still are.
Down the line, though, he vaguely opens up with his dilemma. What Niko felt about the war, as we seen, was the same things he got into within the underworld. The thing that made him unable to walk away, fighting another people's fight. But the war taught him how to enjoy life, which was the point to even get out for him.
The war taught me a lot of bad things. But it also taught me to enjoy life.
He even started to talk about who he wanted to be. But again, the goal from the jump.
What kind of a man do I want to be? I want to be a whole one. I do not want to be owned by anyone. I do not want to be controlled by the actions of others. I want to be able to make the right decision, and it be my own decision to make.
Eerily, as we heard, he wanted to also make the right decisions and it being his own decision to make. He wanted out, and things actually started to line up to be that way.
Maybe you have learned something, Bellic. Goodbye and good luck. Try to live a good life.
At this point, a lot of what Niko was put into was over, leaving him to start and make his own decisions. Everything he was paid to do went to shit. Although being pulled into the drug trade, Elizabeth already was sentenced. All the blackmail, internal conflicts, etc. was gone as well. And money was made, saying not to say the least, the excuses were gone. But one thing stuck around, that being his pride, which that started everything that he had to go through within LC in the first place. So when it went down to feeling he could now make his own decisions, boy did he act like it.
This is real. I need you.
Real? What the fuck is real? Real because it's you?
Niko even saying this showed he had nothing to gain but what worked for him at this point. Being stuck on not wanting to do a deal was a pride thing alone. But this, as many know, would leave ties not cut regardless, which was the result of not being quiet. A wedding right after killing Dimitri went how it did, not being quiet, although him thinking he was good.
I have tied up a lot of loose ends in this city recently. I feel like it's time to move on. Start living my life right.
But you're a tough guy with a death wish. A thieving, murdering, drug-dealing idiot. Do you think you can just walk away from all that?
I can try.
Good luck, Niko. I really hope you can walk away. But do you think the men you've dealt with will just let you leave and walk into the sunset?
They will have to.
I thought that when you do the work that you do, that people get their hooks into you, and then there's no way out.
I was good once. I was a normal kid who got sucked into a war he didn't believe in and forced to watch his friends die. Forced to do things he did not want to do in order to survive. If I can get pulled into this world, I can pull myself out. I've tried to make the right choices, to surround myself with good people rather than bad ones.
Tell me, have these good people been hurt by what you've had to do?
But again, the thing simply was not being quiet, his pride doing this.
Get on!
Told me to leave it. I thought I had. I thought it was over.
It's never over, Aya.
He didn't leave it. He would have not killed Dimitri. Keep in mind, this is a canon event. And doing the deal put him in a worse situation, having a sworn enemy. Sadly, what doing neither and laying low helped, we'll never know. But back to canon, it had to be that. Pride started his journey in the American underworld in the first place.
Kate McCreary, a 28-year-old woman from Dukes, was killed in a drive-by shooting. The groom's cousin, Niko Bellic, is said to have left the scene soon after that shooting. He's wanted for questioning by police, but not as a suspect in the case.
Coming to America and realizing the fabrication, he had the excuse of trying to provide for him and Roman. But you will see, it became his pride that got him neck deep. But even with that, got him into trauma and furthered his end goal, turning things into survival and revenge. He ended up making a name for himself based on that alone. So by the time, again, a lot of the excuses ceased to exist, it was left with being in his own way and people being affected by it firsthand. From Roman getting shot in the stomach, all the way to Kate having the same fate. But he took that, in my opinion, to actually, of course, go quiet. Lester confirming it, even Packy thinking he was dead being so low.
It was me, my brother Derek, God rest his soul, my pal Michael, God rest his soul, and another boy, Niko, who's probably dead too.
Even still showing to be still interneted, wishing Roman a happy birthday. But being underpaid, overworked, and a life that has two ways out, and this being the goal in the first place when not working on pride or revenge, was why Niko Bellic went quiet.